Okay, today is the 8th of August, and we come to Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 47, Vimamsaka Sutta, the Enquirer. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. There he addressed the monks thus, "Monks, noble sir," they replied. The Blessed One said, "Monks, a monk who is an inquirer, not knowing how to gauge another's mind, should make an investigation of the Tathagata in order to find out whether or not he is fully enlightened. Noble sir, our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One, guided by the Blessed One. Have the Blessed One as their resort. It would be good if the Blessed One would explain the meaning of these words. Having heard it from the Blessed One, the monks will remember it. Then listen, monks, and attend closely to what I shall say." "Yes, noble sir," the monks replied. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha is saying that he's telling the monks that they should make an investigation of the Buddha to find out whether or not he is enlightened. So the Buddha is a teacher who asks his disciples to question everything. "Monks, a monk who is an inquirer, not knowing how to gauge another's mind, should investigate the Tathagata with respect to two kinds of states. States cognizable through the eye and through the ear thus. Are there found in the Tathagata or not any defiled states cognizable through the eye or through the ear? When he investigates him, he comes to know. No defiled states cognizable through the eye or through the ear are found in the Tathagata. When he comes to know this, he investigates him further thus. Are there found in the Tathagata or not any mixed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear? When he investigates him, he comes to know. No mixed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear are found in the Tathagata. When he comes to know this, he investigates him further thus. Are there found in the Tathagata or not cleansed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear? When he investigates him, he comes to know. Cleansed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear are found in the Tathagata." Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha is telling his disciples through seeing, seeing the Buddha's actions or through hearing the Buddha's words, and then they should investigate whether the Buddha has any defiled states or not, and then also whether he has any mixed states. Mixed states means sometimes defiled, sometimes not defiled, sometimes good, sometimes bad. And then cleansed states, that means the Buddha has achieved certain cleansed states. So through his actions and through the speech, it can be known. When he comes to know this, he investigates him further thus. Has this Venerable One attained this wholesome state over a long time, or did he attain it recently? When he investigates him, he comes to know. This Venerable One has attained this wholesome state over a long time. He did not attain it only recently. When he comes to know this, he investigates him further thus. Has this Venerable One acquired renown and attained fame, so that the dangers connected with renown and fame are found in him? For monks, as long as a monk has not acquired renown and attained fame, the dangers connected with renown and fame are not found in him. But when he has acquired renown and attained fame, those dangers are found in him. When he investigates him, he comes to know. This Venerable One has acquired renown and attained fame, but the dangers connected with renown and fame are not found in him. Let's stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha says that they should consider whether the Buddha has attained these wholesome states for a long time or only recently. And also whether he has name and fame, and whether those dangers connected with name and fame are found in him. those dangers connected with name and fame mainly is this ego. Because of the ego, there is arrogance, and also because of the ego, because of arrogance, sometimes a person can have a lot of anger, and also if he's greedy, whether he's greedy or not, because once a person wants name, then he's greedy for fame, he's greedy for this and that, etc. So, as far as the Buddha is concerned, he does not have these dangers connected with renown and fame. There is a Samyutta in the Samyutta Nikaya called Labha Sakara, where the Buddha said that a monk should avoid gains and fame. Should not be greedy for gains means offerings, and fame having a name, becoming famous. So the Buddha said these two are very dangerous. Sometimes a monk, before he has attained fame, he's practicing well. Very often after he becomes famous, then as his ego becomes swollen, and he will go the wrong way. When he comes to know this, he investigates him further thus. Is this Venerable One restrained without fear, not restrained by fear? And does he avoid indulging in sensual pleasures because he is without lust through the destruction of lust? When he investigates him, he comes to know this Venerable One is restrained without fear, not restrained by fear. And he avoids indulging in sensual pleasure because he is without lust through the destruction of lust. Now monks, if others should ask that monk thus, what are the Venerable One's reasons and what is his evidence, whereby he says that Venerable One is restrained without fear, not restrained by fear, and he avoids indulging in sensual pleasures because he is without lust through the destruction of lust? Answering rightly, that monk would answer thus, whether that Venerable One dwells in the Sangha or alone, while some there are well behaved and some are ill behaved, and some there teach a group, while some here are seen concerned about material things, and some are unsullied by material things. Still that Venerable One does not despise anyone because of that. And I have heard and learned this from the Blessed One's own lips. I am restrained without fear, not restrained by fear, and I avoid indulging in sensual pleasures because I am without lust through the destruction of lust. Stop here for a moment. So here is quite interesting. The Buddha says that a monk who is restrained without fear and he avoids indulging in sensual pleasures because he is without lust. In that case, that monk, when he sees well-behaved and ill-behaved monks, still he does not despise anyone because of that. So, in other words, this person he has let go, and also his ego is not so big. Normally, when we are new on the spiritual path, we are very diligent to practice well. And when we are diligent to practice well and we see others are not practicing well, we tend to look down on them. But when we are more mature, spiritually more mature, then even though we progress on the spiritual path, the Buddha says we don't identify ourselves with that progress. You don't think I'm very clean in my precepts, or my meditation is very good, and all these things. If you understand the Dhamma, later you see the Buddha says that the Buddha does not identify himself with all those good states because just let go of the ego. So this is quite quite revealing that if a monk he progresses, then he will not differentiate so much. He will not be critical of even ill-behaved monks. The Tathagata monks should be questioned further about that thus. Are there found in the Tathagata or not any defiled states cognizable through the eye or through the ear? The Tathagata would answer thus, no defiled states cognizable through the eye or through the ear are found in the Tathagata. If asked, are there found in the Tathagata or not any mixed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear? The Tathagata would answer thus, no mixed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear are found in the Tathagata. If asked, are there found in the Tathagata or not cleansed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear? The Tathagata would answer thus, cleansed states cognizable through the eye or through the ear are found in the Tathagata. They are my pathway and my domain, yet I do not identify with them. Stop it for a moment. So here, this is what I was trying to say, that the Buddha, he has cleansed states, he has made a lot of progress, but he does not identify the self with all that cleansed states, or does not think, I have attained this, I have attained that. Monks, a disciple should approach the teacher who speaks thus in order to hear the Dhamma. The teacher teaches him the Dhamma with its higher and higher levels, with its more and more sublime levels, with its dark and bright counterparts. As the teacher teaches the Dhamma to a monk in this way, through direct knowledge of a certain teaching here, in that Dhamma, the monk comes to a conclusion about the teachings. He places confidence in the teacher thus, the Blessed One is fully enlightened. The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. The Sangha is practicing the good way. Now if others should ask that monk thus, what are the Venerable One's reasons and what is his evidence whereby he says, the Blessed One is fully enlightened? The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. The Sangha is practicing the good way. Answering rightly, that monk would answer thus, Dear friends, I approached the Blessed One in order to hear the Dhamma. The Blessed One taught me the Dhamma with its higher and higher levels, with its more and more sublime levels, with its dark and bright counterparts. As the Blessed One taught the Dhamma to me in this way, through direct knowledge of a certain teaching here in that Dhamma, I came to a conclusion about the teachings. I place confidence in the teacher thus. The Blessed One is fully enlightened. The Dhamma is well proclaimed by the Blessed One. The Sangha is practicing the good way. Monks, when anyone's faith has been planted, rooted and established in the Tathagata through these reasons, terms and phrases, his faith is said to be supported by reasons, rooted in vision, firm. It is invincible by any recluse or Brahmin or God or Mara or Brahma or by anyone in the world. That is how monks, there is an investigation of the Tathagata in accordance with the Dhamma, and that is how the Tathagata is well investigated in accordance with the Dhamma. That is what the Blessed One said. The monks were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. So here this sutta is telling us that we should question everything, even the state of the teacher, like the Buddha taught the Kalama Sutta, where the Buddha says, don't believe because the teacher has a good reputation, don't believe because it comes from the books, everything, but investigate. So the other thing interesting about this sutta is that if a monk is practicing correctly, even if he acquires renown and attain fame, then he is not moved by it. He doesn't become arrogant. The ego doesn't become so big, not so greedy. Another thing is, if a monk progresses, then he becomes less critical of others. He's more compassionate of other people's behavior, and is more keen to improve himself instead of criticizing others. Okay, now we come to another sutta, Sutta 48, which is a very important sutta. Towards the end, you will see. 48. Kosambiya Sutta, the Kosambiyans. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Kosambi in Gosita's park. Now on that occasion, the monks at Kosambi were taken to quarrelling and brawling and were deep in disputes, stabbing each other with verbal daggers. They could neither convince each other nor be convinced by others. They could neither persuade each other nor be persuaded by others. Then a certain monk went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, he sat down at one side and informed him of what was happening. Then the Blessed One addressed a certain monk thus, "Come, monk, tell those monks in my name that the teacher calls them." "Yes, Venerable Sir," he replied. And he went to those monks and told them, "The teacher calls the Venerable Ones." "Yes, friend," they replied. And they went to the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, they sat down at one side. The Blessed One then asked them, "Monks, is it true that you have taken to quarrelling and brawling and are deep in disputes, stabbing each other with verbal daggers, that you can neither convince each other nor be convinced by others, that you can neither persuade each other nor be persuaded by others?" "Yes, Venerable Sir." "Monks, what do you think? When you take to quarrelling and brawling and are deep in disputes, stabbing each other with verbal daggers, do you on that occasion maintain acts of loving kindness by body, speech and mind, in public and in private towards your companions in the holy life?" "No, Venerable Sir." "So, monks, when you take to quarrelling and brawling and are deep in disputes, stabbing each other with verbal daggers, on that occasion you do not maintain acts of loving kindness by body, speech and mind, in public and in private towards your companions in the holy life. Misguided men, what can you possibly know, what can you see that you take to quarrelling and brawling and are deep in disputes, stabbing each other with verbal daggers, that you can neither convince each other nor be convinced by others, that you can neither persuade each other nor be persuaded by others? Misguided men, that will lead to your harm and suffering for a long time." Let's stop here for a moment. So, whenever two persons quarrel or several people quarrel, it doesn't really matter who is right, who is wrong. But if we practice the Buddha's teachings, then we don't continue to quarrel. At least we try to avoid each other. And if you can't practice metta, at least avoid each other. So if people quarrel, both sides are to be blamed. Then the Blessed One addressed the monks thus, "Monks, there are these 6 memorable qualities that create love and respect and conduce to helpfulness, to non-dispute, to concord and to unity. What are the 6? Here, a monk maintains bodily acts of loving kindness, both in public and in private, towards his companions in the holy life. This is a memorable quality that creates love and respect and conduces to helpfulness, to non-dispute, to concord and to unity. Again, a monk maintains verbal acts of loving kindness, both in public and in private, towards his companions in the holy life. This is a memorable quality that creates love and respect and conduces to unity. Again, a monk maintains mental acts of loving kindness, both in public and in private, towards his companions in the holy life. This is a memorable quality that creates love and respect and conduces to unity. Again, a monk uses things in common with his virtuous companions in the holy life. Without making reservations, he shares with them any gain of a kind that accords with the Dhamma and has been obtained in a way that accords with the Dhamma, including even the contents of his bowl. This is a memorable quality that creates love and respect and conduces to unity. Again, a monk dwells both in public and in private, possessing in common with his companions in the holy life those virtues that are unbroken, untorn, unblotched, unmortal, liberating, commended by the wise, not misapprehended, and conducive to concentration. This too is a memorable quality that creates love and respect and conduces to unity. Again, a monk dwells in public and in private, possessing in common with his companions in the holy life that view that is noble and emancipating, and leads one who practices in accordance with it to the complete destruction of suffering. This too is a memorable quality that creates love and respect and conduces to helpfulness, to non-dispute, to concord and to unity. These are the 6 memorable qualities that create love and respect and conduce to helpfulness, to non-dispute, to concord and to unity. Of these memorable qualities, the highest, the most comprehensive, the most conclusive is this view that is noble and emancipating, and leads the one who practices in accordance with it to the complete destruction of suffering. Just as the highest, the most comprehensive, the most conclusive part of a pinnacle building is the pinnacle itself, so too of these 6 memorable qualities, the highest is this view that is noble and emancipating. Stop here for a moment. So these 6 qualities, when we live together, we should always remember to maintain loving kindness, acts of loving kindness, whether in public or in private, through the body, through the speech, and through the mind towards each other. If we can't do that, the only obstacle is the ego. Every time we cannot tolerate something, it's the ego surfacing. And then number 4, we are not stingy. We share with each other what we have. And then number 5 is to keep our moral conduct, keep our sila, moral conduct. And number 6, the most important, is to have right view. When you have Aryan view or right view, then you would see that this body and this self is not I, is not mine, and then your ego won't be so big. So you can let go of a lot of things. So having right view is very helpful, the most important. And how does this view that is noble and emancipating lead the one who practices in accordance with it to the complete destruction of suffering? Here a monk, gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut, considers thus: is there any obsession unabandoned in myself that might so possess my mind that I cannot know or see things as they actually are? If a monk is obsessed by sensual lust, then his mind is obsessed. If he is obsessed by ill will, then his mind is obsessed. If he is obsessed by sloth and torpor, then his mind is obsessed. If he is obsessed by restlessness and remorse, then his mind is obsessed. If he is obsessed by doubt, then his mind is obsessed. If a monk is absorbed in speculation about this world, then his mind is obsessed. If a monk is absorbed in speculation about the other world, then his mind is obsessed. If a monk takes to quarreling and brawling and is deep in disputes, stabbing others with verbal daggers, then his mind is obsessed. He understands thus: there is no obsession unabandoned in myself that might so possess my mind that I cannot know and see things as they actually are. My mind is well disposed for awakening to the truths. This is the first knowledge attained by him that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. I'll stop here for a moment. Now this part, we are coming to this part of the sutta, which is very important. Here, the Buddha is going to talk about 7 factors or 7 possessions of a sotapanna. So if you think you might be a sotapanna, you can judge here whether you have the qualities. So this first one, a monk, he must get rid of the 5 hindrances. What is called obsessions here. I must abandon these 5 hindrances. Because it says here, my mind is well disposed for awakening to the truths. If you don't abandon the 5 hindrances, then your mind is not well disposed for awakening. So abandoning of the 5 hindrances is necessary so that we can see clearly things as they really are. The minimum that is needed to abandon the 5 hindrances is what later books call upachara samadhi, a threshold concentration, which is very close to the first jhana. Just before a person attains the first jhana, in the suttas it says that the 5 hindrances are abandoned. and abandon quite permanently. So you need some samadhi to get rid of the 5 hindrances. There are some people, they already have this quality from previous life. If not, then we have to cultivate this samadhi in this lifetime so that we can attain this Uttapanna. Second one, again, a noble disciple considers thus: when I pursue, develop and cultivate this view, do I obtain internal serenity? Do I personally obtain stillness? He understands thus: when I pursue, develop and cultivate this view, I obtain internal serenity. I personally obtain stillness. This is the second knowledge attained by him. That is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. So this is another quality that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary putujana, ordinary people who are not Aryans. So an Aryan will be able to obtain serenity of mind, stillness of mind. The third one, again, a noble disciple considers thus: is there any other recluse or Brahmin outside the Buddha's dispensation possessed of a view such as I possess? He understands thus: there is no other recluse or Brahmin outside the Buddha's dispensation possessed of a view such as I possess. This is the third knowledge attained by him that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. I stop here for a moment. So here, he knows only in the Buddha's original teachings, by practicing the Noble Eightfold Path, then only we can get this right view of an Aryan and be an Aryan. Nowadays there are some monks who say that all religions are the same and that other religions also have enlightened people. This is not what the Buddha says. The Buddha says only in his teachings. When you say only in his teachings, it means only basically you practice the Four Noble Truths, which includes the this Noble Eightfold Path. And then only you can attain this Aryan view. Number 4. Again, the noble disciple considers thus: do I possess the character of a person who possesses right view? What is the character of a person who possesses right view? This is the character of a person who possesses right view. Although he may commit some kind of offense for which a means of rehabilitation has been laid down, still he at once confesses, reveals and discloses it to the teacher or to wise companions in the holy life. And having done that, he enters upon restraint for the future. Just as a young, tender infant lying prone at once draws back when he puts his hand or his foot on a live coal, so too that is the character of a person who possesses right view. He understands thus: I possess the character of a person who possesses right view. This is the fourth knowledge attained by him that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. One of the necessary conditions of a good disciple is that he has to be straightforward to the teacher. He should not hide his weaknesses. He should not hide his faults. So here it is stated that even this noble disciple, this Aryan disciple, is capable of committing some kind of offense, some light offense. Although an Aryan is supposed to have perfect sila, he still sometimes can break certain precepts, but not the major precepts. But then he does not hide it. He immediately confesses it, reveals it either to the teacher or to his companions in the holy life. So if a person wants to progress as a disciple, he has to be very forthright, very straightforward to the teacher and reveal everything so that the teacher can correct his faults, not be very secretive. Again, a noble disciple considers thus: do I possess the character of a person who possesses right view? What is the character of a person who possesses right view? This is the character of a person who possesses right view. Although he may be active in various matters for his companions in the holy life, yet he has a keen regard for training in the higher virtue, training in the higher mind, and training in the higher wisdom. Just as a cow with a new calf, while she grazes, watches her calf, so too that is the character of a person who possesses right view. He understands thus, I possess the character of a person who possesses right view. This is the fifth knowledge attained by him that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha means that a monk may be very busy teaching the Dhamma or doing matters for the Sangha, but if an Aryan, then he will still be very careful about his sila, his samadhi, and wisdom. That means he will still keep his precepts very well and train in meditation and also study the sutta for the higher wisdom. Again, a noble disciple considers thus, do I possess the strength of a person who possesses right view? What is the strength of a person who possesses right view? This is the strength of a person who possesses right view. When the Dhamma Vinaya proclaimed by the Tathagata is being taught, he heeds it, gives it attention, engages it with all his mind, hears the Dhamma as with eager ears. He understands thus, I possess the strength of a person who possesses right view. This is the sixth knowledge attained by him that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. So here, another characteristic of an Aryan disciple, when the Dhamma Vinaya of the Buddha is taught, he is very eager to listen, pay attention with all his mind. So you all should know, whenever there's a Dhamma talk going on, don't go and chatter. I see some of you, when the Dhamma talk is going on, you're talking very loudly. You have no interest in the Dhamma. That shows you're really interested in the Dhamma. Any talk, you will pay attention. Again, a noble disciple considers thus, do I possess the strength of a person who possesses right view? What is the strength of a person who possesses right view? This is the strength of a person who possesses right view. When the Dhamma Vinaya proclaimed by the Tathagata is being taught, he gains inspiration in the meaning, gains inspiration in the Dhamma, gains gladness connected with the Dhamma. He understands thus, I possess the strength of a person who possesses right view. This is the seventh knowledge attained by him that is noble, supramundane, not shared by ordinary people. When a noble disciple is thus possessed of seven factors, he has well sought the character for realization of the fruit of stream entry. When a noble disciple is thus possessed of seven factors, he possesses the fruit of stream entry. That is what the Blessed One said. The monks were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's words. That's the end of the sutta. So this last part, when the Dhamma is taught, this person is extremely happy to hear the Dhamma and is inspired by the Dhamma. That shows why we say Uyen, Tia Keng. He has this affinity with the Dhamma. So these are the seven qualities of a Sotapanna. So if you think you might be a Sotapanna, you look at these seven qualities and judge whether you have. The first one is to be rid of the five hindrances. You have, and then the second one is you have attained some serenity of mind, stillness of mind. The third one is that you understand that outside the Buddha's teachings, there cannot be any Aryans. Number 4, this Sotapanna, he may commit some light offense, but he will immediately confess and reveal it either to his companions in the holy life or to the teacher. And number 5, the monk may be very busy doing a lot of Dhammavuddho work, etc., or maintenance work, or all the duties for the Sangha, yet he still trains in Sila, Samadhi and Panya, moral conduct, concentration and wisdom. Then number 6, when the Dhamma Vinaya is taught, he pays full attention. He engages it with all his mind. Hears the Dhamma with eager ears, very happy and very eager to hear the Dhamma. And then number 7, when he hears the Dhamma, he's inspired by the Dhamma, and gladness is born. Is gladness connected with the Dhamma. So these are the 7 factors, the characteristics of a Sotapanna. So this is a very important sutta.